where the Thames whispered secrets to the bridges, Sophia Hale stepped into a quaint cafe on the cobbled streets of Notting Hill. At 28, she was a vision of quiet grace, raven hair cascading like midnight silk, emerald eyes that held the depth of forgotten dreams, and a smile that bloomed like wild roses in a hidden garden. But beneath her poised exterior lay a heart scarred by the city's relentless grind. A graphic designer by day, she sketched worlds of color and whimsy, yet her own life felt painted in shades of gray. Divorced young from a man who chased ambition over affection, Sophia had sworn off love's gamble. No more heartbreak, she'd told her best friend, Eliza, who, ever the meddler, had set up this blind date. Just coffee. 1 hour. In and out. Across the cafe, nursing a chipped mug of black tea, sat Julian Blackwood. He looked every bit the struggling artist Eliza had described. Threadbare wool coat from a thrift shop, scuffed leather boots that had seen better decades, and silver-streaked hair tousled as if by indifferent winds. At 35, his face was etched with lines that spoke of quiet endurance. Deep-set blue eyes like stormy seas, a jaw shadowed by a day's stubble, and hands calloused not from boardrooms, but from the imagined strum of a guitar he never played. To the world, Julian was a barista by trade, scraping by in a tiny flat above a bookshop, his dreams of poetry gathering dust on yellowed pages. But that was the veil he wore, a deliberate disguise. In truth, Julian was the reclusive CEO of Blackwood Enterprises, a tech empire worth billions, built on algorithms that connected hearts across oceans. He hid his wealth not from arrogance, but from a wound that festered, a betrayal 5 years prior, when his fiancée had loved his fortune more than his soul, leaving him hollowed out like a storm-ravaged oak. Sophia spotted him first, her heart fluttering like a leaf in the breeze. He rose awkwardly, knocking over a sugar packet, and extended a hand that trembled just a touch. "Sophia, I'm Julian. Eliza said you'd have eyes like, well, like emeralds in a coal mine." His voice was a low rumble, warm as aged whiskey, laced with a self-deprecating chuckle that made her laugh despite herself. They sat, the air between them humming with tentative sparks. She ordered a latte, he stuck to his tea. "Can't afford the fancy stuff," he quipped, and she believed him, sharing stories of her own modest life, the leaky ceiling in her Camden flat, the joy of sketching strangers in the tube, the ache of holidays spent alone with takeout and Netflix. As the evening deepened, the cafe's lanterns flickered like fireflies, casting golden halos on their faces. Julian listened, truly listened, with an intensity that unraveled her. "Tell me about the dreams you chase," he said, his gaze steady, unblinking. Sophia hesitated, then poured out her soul, the children's book series she'd always wanted to illustrate, tales of lost girls finding magic in mundane shadows. "But who has time? Bills don't pay for whimsy." He nodded, his fingers brushing hers accidentally, or was it, as he passed the napkin. "Whimsy is the only thing worth chasing, Sophia. The rest, it's just noise." In that moment, she saw not a poor poet, but a kindred spirit, weathered by the same winds that bent her own branches. They walked afterward, the city a tapestry of amber leaves and neon sighs. Julian pointed out hidden murals on brick walls, reciting verses he'd scribbled in notebooks no one reads. She leaned into his arm, the chill nipping at her cheeks, and for the first time in years, felt seen, not as a success or a failure, but as a woman with a heart full of unspoken songs. At her door, under the glow of a street lamp, he paused, his breath clouding the air. "This was more than coffee," he murmured, and she rose on tiptoe, their lips meeting in a kiss soft as snowfall, tentative, then deepening like roots seeking soil. "Tomorrow," she whispered. He smiled, that crooked, heart-melting curve. "Every tomorrow, if you'll have me." But dawn brought revelations sharper than shattered glass. Eliza called at first light, her voice a whirlwind of excitement. "Sophia, you won't believe who you dated last night. Julian Blackwood. The Julian Blackwood. CEO of that app everyone's on. The one that made him a billionaire overnight." Eliza set it up as a joke, thought it'd be hilarious to pair you with a down on his luck, type. But he's loaded, Soph. Hiding it all to find real love. Oh. The drama. Sophia's world tilted. She stared at her reflection in the mirror, cheeks flushed not from cold, but from the sting of assumed deceit. Had it all been a game? The vulnerability in his eyes, the poetry that pierced her soul, lies woven into a pauper's coat. Rage simmered, then cooled into sorrow. She texted him, "We need to talk. Now." He arrived at her flat an hour later, still in that worn coat, eyes shadowed with fear. "Sophia, She cut him off, voice breaking. A blind date with a billionaire playing pretend. Was I just an experiment? Another conquest for the man who has everything?" Julian's face crumpled, and he sank onto her threadbare sofa, burying his head in hands that built empires. "No," he whispered, voice raw as winter earth. "God, no. I hid it because the world sees the money first, the yachts, the headlines. But you saw me. The boy who wrote poems under his school desk, the man who lost faith in fairy tales. My ex, she tore that away, left me chasing ghosts. Eliza knew my secret, she promised discretion. I never meant to hurt you." Tears traced paths down his stubbled cheeks, and in that vulnerability, Sophia glimpsed the truth. He wasn't the hunter, but the hunted, armored in poverty to shield a fragile heart. She knelt before him, cupping his face, those stormy eyes now clear as dawn. "You think wealth defines you. It's your words, Julian. The way you made my dreams feel possible. But trust, that's the real fortune." He pulled her close, their foreheads touching, breaths mingling like prayers. "Then let me earn it. Not with billions, but with every tomorrow." In that embrace, walls dissolved, hers of guarded solitude, his of concealed grandeur. They laughed through tears, the absurdity of it all weaving them tighter. Months blurred into a symphony of rediscovery. Julian shed the coat for good, but kept the poetry, funding Sophia's book with quiet generosity, no strings, just belief. Her illustrations burst forth, tales of hidden treasures in ordinary souls, dedicated to the man who wore rags to find gold. Their wedding was simple, under Notting Hill's arches, with Eliza beaming as witness. No fanfare, just vows exchanged like secrets. I choose you, pauper and prince. Sophia's heart, once a wilted rose, bloomed eternal. She learned that love's truest blind date is with the soul, unadorned, unassuming, utterly real. And Julian, he found not just a partner, but redemption. In her eyes, he was wealthy beyond measure. For in the end, the greatest fortune is the one that touches the heart, word by whispered word, kiss by healing kiss. Thank you for watching this story till the end. Sparkles, if it touched your heart, please support us. Thumbs up, give it a like. Speech balloon, share your thoughts in the comments. Bell, subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications. Your support helps us create more stories that inspire and make you believe in miracles. Your participation means a lot to us, heart.